Good afternoon and warm greetings from Kandalur Shala, an institute dedicated for higher learning and research in ancient Indian wisdom. On behalf of Kandalur Shala, we welcome all invited guests, members and trustees of Kandalur Sabha, and distinguished participants to the 4th edition of the National Lecture Series on Indian Intellectual Traditions. Today's topic for discussion is management concepts, glimpses from the Indian knowledge repository, and will be led by an eminent professor and a great scholar of international repute, Dr. B. Mahadevan. Now I invite the Master of Ceremony for today's session, Dr. G. Purnima. She is the head of Department of Sanskrit, Regional Center, Etumanur of Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit. Over to Dr. Purnima.
Pranams to all. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ekaishwarye Sthitopi Pranata Bahubhale Yaswayam Krittivasa Kanta Sammishra Dehopya Manasam Yah Purastadyatinam Ashtabhiryasya Krishnam Jagadapi Tanubhirbibhrato Nabhimana Sanmargalokanaya Vyapanayatu Savah Tamasim Vrittimisha Sanmargalokanaya Vyapanayatu Savah Tamasim Vrittimisha. Good afternoon to one and all. Respected Chief Guest, Professor B. Mahadevan, Dr. G. Ramamurthy, Academic Director, Kandalur Shala, respected Chair, Dr. P.C. Murali Madhavan, Director-in-Chief and Special Officer, Kandalur Shala, Dr. Sarita Maheshwaran, HOD, Department of Sahitya, Government Sanskrit College, Tripunitura, Dr. K. K. Hariharan, Administrative Director, Kandalur Shala, all other dignitaries, delegates, participants, and students. As you all know, Kandalur Shala, an institute for higher learning and research in ancient Indian wisdom, is and which is proposed to be an autonomous private university after gaining relevant approvals, is organizing a lecture series on Indian intellectual tradition. 3 lectures have been conducted so far, and here comes the 4th lecture. And I'm very glad to introduce today's chief guest, Professor B. Mahadevan, to all of you. He is a professor of Operations Management at Indian Institute of Management, IIM, Bangalore. For the last 29 years, he has been teaching there. He has wide-ranging experience in teaching, research, consulting, and academic administration at IIM Bangalore and also at other reputed institutions such as IIT Delhi and XLRI Jamshedpur, etc. He was conferred the ICFAI Best Teacher Award by the Association of Indian Management Schools in 2005. He has published several of his research findings in leading international journals, such as California Management Review, European Journal of Operational Research, etc. He is the author of the best-selling book, Operations Management, Theory and Practice. He was the founding Vice Chancellor of Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth. You all know that he is well-versed in traditional Indian knowledge system and also in modern knowledge systems. And he is very keen in disseminating Sanskrit and Sanskriti to the global audience through public lectures, books, and YouTube channels, seminars, etc. And today, we can hear him very soon. Now, let me invite Dr. G. Ramamurthy. Before that, you all know it, that today he will deliver the lecture on the topic, Management Concepts, Glimpses from Indian Knowledge Repository. And we are all keen to hear you, sir. Now, let me invite Dr. G. Ramamurthy, Academic Director, Kandalur Shala, for welcome address.
Namaskaram to all. Today, this is the 4th national level lecture on Kandalur Shala. So, today our guest is very famous and he needs no introduction to the august audience. Dr. B. Mahadevan was the former Vice Chancellor of Chinmaya Vishwavidyalaya, and now he working at Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. He is beautiful. In him, we can see a beautiful intermingling of ancient and modern sciences. Today, his topic is Management Concept, Glimpses from Indian Knowledge Repository. I welcome him to this august audience. And Kandalur Shala have a very a team, well-organized team for conducting national and international level conferences. And it is led by the captain of this, captain is Murali Madhavan, Dr. Murali Madhavan, and it is assisted by Narayanan Koti, President Madhavan Nambudiri, Vice President Pradeep Jyoti, and Hariharan, and etc. And Dr. Purnima also helping us for conducting this national seminar. Today, we have to hear very learned lecture on management studies. I heard something about the managing aspects in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, and I think today we can hear more on this subject. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Once again, welcome to all. And now, may I request respected Chair, Dr. P.C. Murali Madhavan, for delivering presidential speech.
Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Yoga Shankaram. Most respected Professor B. Mahadevan, the chief guest of the day, Sri K. Narayanan Koti, Sri N. Madhavan Nambudiri, Dr. Pradeep Jyoti, Dr. Purnima, other trustees of Kandalur Shala and Sabha, members of Kandalur Shala, my colleagues in Kandalur Institute, lovers of Indian wisdom, beloved participants in this virtual platform, I salute you all and wish you a happy and scholarly experience from today's lecture program. Today we are having our 4th lecture in the series, IIT, that is Indian Intellectual Tradition. We have to we have two other lecture series, one on wheels, that is Vedic epistemology and exegesis, and one international lecture series of Indian philosophical systems. Scholars of international repute like Professor George Cardona from Pennsylvania, Professor Michael Witzel from Harvard, Professor Peter Scharf from Brown University, Professor Haig Oberlin from Tübingen University, Germany, Professor Arindam Chakravarti from Honolulu are a few among the scholars who delivered learned lectures in Kandalur Shala at a different point of time in these 3 months. Along with these lecture series, Kandalur Shala conducted an international seminar recently, last month, searching the roots of Indian intellectual tradition in Vedic literature. Here today, we are fortunate to have in our midst Professor Dr. B. Mahadevan, as already told by Dr. Purnima, the founder Vice Chancellor of Chinmaya Vishwavidyalaya, the University for Sanskrit and Indic Studies. And at present, he is the illustrious professor of Operations Management at Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore. Actually, he is a unique scholar in whom we can find the attractive fusion of tradition and modernity. Rarely we can come across such scholars with deep erudition and modesty, and also endowed with all human qualities. Vidya dadadi vinayam idi yaduktam samskrita sahitya subhashita sahitye tasya utkrishtam nidanam nidarshanam bhavanti ete mahanubhavaah. Edena na kevalam ete na kevalam adhunika prashasana shastre kintu vede puranadishu samskrita sahitya grandheshu cha bhuri krita parishramaah bhavanti. Samskrita bhashayam edesham vang nirjhari anupama anitara sadharana cha vartate. Ede samskrita sahityasya marmatnyaha sahridaya dhureenascha santi. Dhanyamatmanam manye yad adyataniya charcha vishayam samyak saprapanjanam kartum vishayesmin adhikarikaha ete samupasthitaha iti. Mahan santosha. Actually, I have worked under him in Chinmaya Vishwavidyalaya. When he was the Vice Chancellor, I was a member of the Academic Council. And I have got opportunities to travel with him throughout India for some inspection institutions for Sanskrit. And the experiences I had when I associated with him in several academic programs, it is a wonderful experience I had, as I told you earlier. Asia Bhukhanda Antargata Vividha Rashtrabhya Vidyarthinaha Adhyapakascha Vishwavidyaleyesmin Pathanam cha Akuruvanta iti Charitra Pustakeshu Shilasasaneshu Copper plate ityadishu cha deridrishyante. Kandalur Maryada Nama Kandalur discipline Eva Tasmin Kale Dakshina Pathe Adrata Asiditi Shilasasaneshu Kandalur Shalayaha Mahatvam Suspashtam Rekhangitam Drishyate. Kandalur Vishwavidyalayasya Punarudharane Betha Parikaraha Kadibadhascha Vayam Sarve Panditanam Shaikshanika Pravaranam Sahayam Abhyarthayamaha. Today, the subject of deliberation is management science, management principles. Management basically means managing human beings. Management is about action. When people are motivated and inspired, they run their organizations effectively and properly and profitably. Management is deeply embedded in culture. Our ancient classical texts are pregnant with the principles of management ethics. Kandalur Shala want to start dialogues between ancient and modern principles and practices of management science. In ancient India, all knowledge systems are known as Tantra, that is science. After the intervention of so-called Orientalists, we found a paradigm shift in approach, and the subjects in humanities and the like were thrown out of the field of science. Recently, they realized their folly and started accommodating humanities also under the banner science or Shastras. Let us look at the central idea in the Indian wisdom tradition that may help us in creating an Indian management theory and management practice. The first idea is the truth is one. That is the first idea. But wise men describe it differently. Egam sat vipra bahutha vadanti. The Indian idea of truth is not monotheistic. It is in the Western tradition, there is only one God, one path, one savior, and one myth. India is not comfortable with that kind of understanding of God and truth. We say there can be many gods, many paths, many prophets, many books, and many myths. Such an approach alone can unfold the meaning of truth and our own potentialities. In fact, there are so many truths as there are so many people. Veda says, Ekoham Bahusyam. You all can have as many truths as there are people. You all can have your own understanding of truth. That is why Indian mythology progressively raises the number of gods from 33 to 333, then again 33,000, and again it has gone to up to 33 million, and now it is finally to infinity. You create your own truth. For an Indian, truth is an open space. The modern management requires that kind of understanding of truth because our workplace is also very pluralistic in nature. Find people coming from different religions, races, and countries. You need a mindset to interact with all these people. Then alone, you can create great organizations. And this truth is applicable to Indian blue chip organizations like Infosys, Tata, or Wipro, whatever it may be. If there want to be great companies, if they want to be great companies with a global presence, they have to draw talent from all across the world. A Hindu is comfortable working with staunch Christians, Muslims, and atheists even. But on the other hand, people of those backgrounds may not be comfortable working with people of different faiths and cultures because of their monotheist tradition. So they believe in converting people of different faiths. We believe in including people with differences. They believe in flattering differences. We believe in encouraging differences. A mindset where you are comfortable with pluralism is important for the survival in the 21st century. We cannot survive with a monotheistic mindset peacefully in the global village. I think the 21st century and the phenomenon of globalization belongs to pluralism. Pluralism is our tradition. The ability to manage diversity, to draw nourishment from diversity, and use diversity as a means of discovering the truth is part of Indian tradition. Discovering truth means unfolding our inner potentiality. Discovering truth is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process that is possible only when you live in diversity. That is, the great scholars like Shankara, Sri Shankaracharya, Kumarila Bhatta, Bhartrihari, and such great scholars, philosophers of India, they say that asatye vartmani sthitva tata satyam samehate. So in plurality, you have to stand and you have to reach finally the oneness, the final truth. So discovering these things, hence I think the 21st century belong to the Indian wisdom, that management wisdom tradition, simply because of the fact that ours is a pluralistic culture. And there is a great sloka, but actually it is very befitting to be quoted in this context in Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter. Ye yathamam prapadyante tan tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vatmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. With these observations, I beg to remain. I have great pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Mahadevan to give his scholarly lecture on this virtual platform of Kanthalur Shala. With this, I beg to remain. Thank you.
Now, I humbly invite Professor Dr. B. Mahadevan for delivering his lecture. Thank you, Murli Madhumash. Thank you. And I invite Professor Mahadevan.
No, Manish. Thank you.
Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. Adaraniya Murli Madhav Mahodayaha Atra Kanthalur Salayam Samitehe Mukhya Adhikarinah Sir Ramurthy Adyatana Sangoshtyaha Sutradari Dr. Purnima Mahabhaga Samskritagnaha Bharatiya Jnana Paramparayam Ashaktavantaha Nirvahana Shastre api Ashaktavantaha Sarvesham Swagatam. Adya Nirvahana Kshetre, Nirvahana Shastre, Atava Nirvahana Kshetre iti vaktum shaknumaha. Asmakam Prachina Granteshu Tasmin Sambandhina Vishayaha Katam Utpaditaha Santi Atava Asmakam Purva Jaihi Asmin Vishaye Katam Chintitam Asti iti etasmin Vishaye Kinchit Mama Swa Abhiprayam Upastapitum Udyuktosmi. Ado Kinchit Adunika Nirvahana Shastra Vishaye Kinchit Uktva Anantaram Mayam Agre Gachamaha. Kinchitaham slideshow upayogam prayatnam karishyami. So we'll start with the roots of modern management. Being a professor in Indian Institute of Management, atra nirvahana vishaye bahu chintanam varam varam asmabhi kritam asti. We are all the time thinking about some of the issues in management and so on. among so many things, I mean, there are so many things to talk, but in a nutshell, there are a few things which are becoming very, very alarming if you look at it from purely from a management perspective. Today, right from the CEO, the topmost person in an organization, up to the janitorial worker, you take the entire gamut of people in an organization. There is one common problem. The degree only varies. There is one common problem all of them face. And what they are saying is they are not finding meaning in their work, in the workplace. So if you don't find meaning in the workplace, see, human beings essentially are meaning making. So if you are not able to make meaning, it will develop into stress. So if you cannot make meaning, it will develop into stress actually. So today, so much of stress and burnout and corporate problems and all that they are saying, because deprived meaning in workplace. This is the number one problem that modern corporations, अस्मिन् विषये कथं निवारणीयम्, एतस्य निवारण पद्धतिः का, कस्मिन् मार्गे अस्माभिः गन्तव्यम्, एतस्मिन् विषये अस्माकं कदापि चिन्तयितुम् अवकाशः नास्ति, चिन्तयितुं सामर्थ्यमपि नास्ति इति वक्तव्यम्. In fact, we are not able to find out in the modern management, we don't know how to address this deprived meaning problem. And this applies to a temple priest, it applies to a worker in a non-government organization, it applies in a multinational corporation. Everywhere this problem is there. This is one biggest problem that we face in modern management, I am telling. The second biggest problem that we face is there is a crisis of leadership. You only hear of big scams. Whether it is multinational, they may be earning 7-digit, 8-digit, that is not the point. There is an ethical erosion, moral and ethical erosion. So, नेतृत्व विषये महान् क्लेशः वर्तते. गत 30 वर्षेभ्यः यावत् निर्वहणकेन्द्रे क्षेत्रे नेतृत्व विषये बहु संशोधनम् इत्यादि वयं कुर्वन्तः स्मः. तथापि तस्मिन् विषये अन्तिम वार्ता अस्माभिः प्राप्ता इति वक्तुं न शक्नुमः. It is not possible to say we have got the last word. When I was a student 35 years back, there are 2-3 theories of leadership. Today, there are 40 theories of leadership in management literature. From 2-3 theories, it has gone to 40 theories. But the fact remains that we are still not being able to get inspiring leaders. Tatat mahan kleshah vartate. There are many more. I will tell the third one, the 3 important things. Parisara dushanam, the amount of ecological erosion, imbalance that we have created in the last 100 years. For one of my students did a PhD here, and he showed me a chart. If you look at the chart, this chart is for the last 2000 years, carbon dioxide emission in the world. If you look at the chart, last 1800 years, the curve is close to the x-axis. In the last 150 years, the curve has gone like this. So what we are able to drill a hole in the ozone layer in the last 50 years. We could not do it in the last 1800 years. We are able to do it in the last 50 years. We are able to drill a hole in ozone layer and create problems for us. So parisara dushanasya vishaye mahan kleshah tasya nivaranam katam tatra kidrisha klesha ityapi vayam na janimah. We don't know what is the problem. Let's talk about the solution later. So these are some of the biggest problems that we face in modern management. And talking of modern management, it's all about 200 years. If you ask what is modern management, it is only about 200 years. It has not, the first business school started in a structured way. First business school started in 1900 in a place called Tuck Business School in Dartmouth, New Hampshire. So gata अधिकोधिकतया 200 वर्षेभ्यः पूर्वम् अस्माभिः निर्वहणविषये आधुनिकविषये इत्युक्ते आधुनिकपद्धत्या कथं निर्वहणं करणीयम् इति चिन्तनम् आरब्धम्. तत् पूर्वं किम् अभवत् इति वयं वक्तुं न जानीमः. So we don't know what happened before 200 years. The so-called management of which I am also a part is about 200 years old. And whatever it may be. एषः तु एकः अंशः. वयं द्वितीय अंशः पश्यामः. Management, what is management? Professor Muralivadan very nicely, aptly put it. यदि वयं सर्वे एकान्तशीलाः निर्वहनशास्त्रस्य आवश्यकता एव नास्ति. यदि अहम् एकाकी एकस्मिन् कोष्ठे उपविश्य ध्यानं करिष्यामि इति यदि वयं चिन्तयामः तर्हि निर्वहनशास्त्रस्य आवश्यकमेव नास्ति. यदि अधिकजनाः मिलित्वा किमपि कार्यं कर्तुम् इच्छन्ति, only when different types of people get together, come together for a common purpose and do something, that is where management happens. Then the need for management happens only there. So if you look at it like that, thousands of years back, this must be happening. Janasammuha yada kadapi asit varsha 2,000 varsheभ्यः पूर्वमपि जनाः मिलित्वा कार्यं कुर्वन्तः स्मः. इत्युक्ते तत्र निर्वहनविषये तैः चिन्तितमेव आसीत्. न केवलं गत एकशतमानं यावत् वयं निर्वहनशास्त्रे चिन्तितवन्तः, तत्पूर्वं निर्वहनशास्त्रविषये अस्माकं चिन्तनमेव न आसीत् इति वक्तुं कदापि न शक्यते. It is impossible to say there was no management. So as a practice, management was there. For time immemorial, management was there. Maybe we do not know about theory. So we ask the question, does our ancient knowledge repository, अस्माकं पूर्वजैः यत् चिन्तितमस्ति, ग्रन्थाः, तत् तालपत्रायं भवतु, oral tradition भवतु, किमपि भवतु, we have our repository of knowledge. Is there ideas of management? Common sense says yes. निश्चयेन भवितव्यम्. यदि जनाः मिलित्वा कार्यं कुर्वन्ति तत्र निर्वहनविषये तैः चिन्तितमेव आसीत्. भवितव्यं स्यात्. They should have thought about how to, what do we do, how do we manage it, all that they should have done. But if you look for literature, for example, if you look for a book for management, you will not be able to. तस्मात् यदि वयं ग्रन्थस्य केवलम् अन्वेषणं कुर्मः, निर्वहणसम्बन्धिन ग्रन्थाः सन्ति वा इति यदि वयं पृच्छामः, तत्र स्पष्टतया उत्तरं दातुं किञ्चित् कष्टं भवति. I don't think we can simply say yes. I will not say no also. There are reasons why I cannot say no, but there are reasons why I cannot say yes also. So that's why I put a question mark there. So I think as a matter of common sense, I am sure not only Indian civilization, I think every civilization would have practiced management. Parantu tat spashtataya tasya kinchit grantha knowledge, is it formalized? That is the only question that we may have to ask. And so that is the only thing that we may have to actually think about. Now, specifically, let us talk about our ancient Indian repository, knowledge repository. If you think of ancient Indian knowledge repository, there are 3-4 keywords. Mama manasi utpannaha asti. The first and the most important thing is we have perfected the art of oral tradition. Vedaha arabhya sarve asmakam jnana paramparam sarvam evamev bhavat guru shishya dwara gurukula dwara mukha dwara etasya what do you call it as conveying it generation down generation. This is an oral tradition. Our tradition is known to be oral. So moment you say oral tradition, there are a few things which we have to understand. The first thing is it has to be very concise. Sarvam mastake sthapaniyam. Mukadwara tasya patanam bhavati. Tasya dvivaram va trivaram tasya kantasthiti asmabhi karniyam. Evam bhavati paddatihi esha vartate. So therefore, whatever knowledge we have cannot be very, very elaborate. It was not a printed tradition. You can have a 10,000 pages book. Today, with all the digital, you can have 20,000 pages book also. It is not costly. Because, storing is not difficult. Whereas in an oral tradition, the name of the game is being concise. We have to be very, very concise in what we say. And also it has to be very compact. Compact ityukte, you cannot have one book for chemistry, one book for philosophy, separately one book for physical chemistry, one book for organic chemistry, one book for physics, particle physics, theoretical physics, nuclear physics. In mathematics, you have one book for astronomy. Evam kartum na shakyate. Because it is a oral tradition, we cannot write separate books. Nirvagana Shastrartham Pritak ekam pustakam vayam likamaha iti yadi vayam chintayama tat na bhaviti eva. In oral tradition, that's not how it is done. The ideas are ideas. The ideas are told. The ideas are communicated. Ideas are contemplated. Tasya sukshma drishti asmabihi vardhaniya bhavati. We have to develop that methodology of sukshma drishti because it is a oral tradition. Also, we had an integrated view of life. Whereas if you look at today's tradition, which is largely from the Western tradition, everything is divided. So our brain is also, we are told there is a right side brain and a left side brain. Left side brain is about mathematics. Right side brain is about, art and literature and poetry. But I don't buy that when it comes to ancient Indian tradition. Mathematics is beautiful poetry. You have Bhuta Sankhya, you have Katapayati, Ayur Arogyam Aishwaryam is a big number of revolutions of moon around in a year. Is given by a nice Katapayati formula called Ayur Arogyam Aishwaryam. 5, 7, 7, 6, 2, 2, some long big number. We have combined, we don't have this notion of right brain, left brain and all that. We had an integrated view of life. So, ityukte kaha vishayah atra yadi asmakam purvajaihi निर्वहन संबंधिन विषयाः चर्चा कृताः वा न वा इति यदि वयं ज्ञातुम् इच्छामः तर्हि ये ग्रन्थाः सन्ति तेषां सूक्ष्म दृष्टि अस्माभिः करणीयमस्ति. We have to look at it very carefully. The only effort required today is to read our text not in one way. We have to read our text in several ways. एकं लघु उदाहरणम् अहं स्वीकरिष्यामि. उदाहरणद्वयं स्वीकरिष्यामि, अनन्तरं वयम् अग्रे गच्छामः. अत्र छन्दशास्त्र पिङ्गलस्य छन्दशास्त्र वर्तते. तत्र यमाता राजबाणसलगम् इति वयं सर्वे जानीमः. अष्टगणाः ये सन्ति तेषां So actually, when you look at this Chanda Shastra, you have this Yamata Rajabana Salagam. Ye Chanda Shastra Madhyam Kritavantaya te Samyak Janati Atra Kim Vartate iti. Yaganasya, Maganasya, Taganasya, Raganasya, Katamba Asmavi, Jnatovyam iti, etat concise. It is a oral tradition. But there is something very deep in this. I will just show you. If you take this Yamata Rajabana Salagam, तत्र लघु गुरु इति अस्माभिः ज्ञास्यते तत्सर्वम् अत्र मया लिखितमस्ति. अत्र इट्स् 100 010 1110 एवमस्ति. Now you may be wondering what is this. In 1983, because this is 200 BC, so I am talking about 2300 years back, एतस्मिन् विषये पिङ्गलस्य छन्दशास्त्रविषये अहं वदन् अस्मि इदानीं. 1983 मध्ये the computer scientists came with what is called De Bruijn sequence. And the De Bruijn sequence is actually available here. Look at this. This is called a binary cycle. This is actually called a binary cycle. You start from the place where I say begin. 100. That is Yamata. Yamata is 100. That is the Yagana. Then you go to 0, which is Magana. 000. Then you go to 001, right? That is called Tagana. So like this is called a binary cycle of length 3. This is what he has shown into 2300 years back. How to construct a binary cycle of a certain word length called 3. This in 1983 computer scientists call it as De Bruijn sequence. Idi etaya sukshma ritya idi vayam na pashyamah. एतादृश विषयाणां ज्ञानं न भवति. So we will say, oh no, binary and all we don't know. Oh, this De Bruijn sequence and all we do not know. Iti vaktum shaknumah. In fact, he has done so many things. There are so many algorithms which binary scientists are using. All of them are there in his Chanda Shastra, if you see. So this is one example. What I'm saying is whether there is a management thought or not, it cannot be identified by simply reading shlokas or reading some text. सूक्ष्म दृष्टि आवश्यकं भवति किञ्चित् यदि सूक्ष्मतया वयं पश्यामः किमर्थम् इत्युक्ते एतत् सर्वम् ओरल् ट्रेडिशन् इति कारणेन पृथक् पृथक् ग्रन्थानां रचनं न अस्माकं एवं नियमः एव एवं न आसीत् इट् इस् नाट् अवर् वे आफ् डूयिङ्ग् थिङ्ग्स् वी आर् वेरि इण्टग्रेटेड्लि थिङ्किङ्ग् पीपल् पुनरेकम् उदाहरणं वदामि अहं तत्र भगवद्गीतायां 4th अध्याये तत्र अवतारपुरुषमहिमायाः श्लोकद्वयं वर्तते यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदा आत्मानं सृजाम्यहं परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे इति वयं सर्वे जानीमः एव that shloka is of course in that context it is avatara purusha mahima कथम एतत् विजानीयां त्वमादौ प्रोक्तवान् इति अर्जुनस्य प्रश्नः आसीत् तस्य उत्तरद्वारा एतत् श्लोकम् अत्र अभवत् so that is a avatara purusha mahima. Let it be there. In fact, these two shlokas has great applications in management. Biggest application in management in what is called control theory and feedback loop. See, ekam lagu udaharanam vayam swikurmah. The price of onion has gone to 100 rupees, 150 rupees, 200 rupees per kilogram. The question is what will happen? This is a management problem. Price control, demand supply, economics. So we are told that if the price goes up, government will intervene. Government will intervene and then either try to find people are hoarding and demand supply is a little adjusted, or government will step in and then give a support price. Kimapi krutva etasya pricesya न्यूनीकरणीयं मूलस्य न्यूनीकरणं कर्तुं यत् आवश्यकं तत् सर्वकारैः क्रियते. That is the equivalent you find in Avatara Purusha. What is he saying? Dharmasya glanihi bhavati. When system goes out of control, there is something called control theory. It's a very big subject in management and economics. It's called control theory. When system goes out of control, then you have to have a feedback loop in which you restore the system back. Tata atmanam srijamyaham kimartam paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. The out of balance must go out of the society. So the Avatara Purusha Mahima is a religious idea, but then it has deep management concepts, which I use it in my class. I tell them that here lies some of the important principles of control theory. When system goes out of control, what do we do? How do we restore it? And why is it important to restore the balance? Evam binna binna grantaha vayam yadi vayam pashyamah tatra yadi nirvahana lens tat drishti dwara vayam yadi asmakam drishti gocharaha निर्वहन शास्त्रम इति यदि वयं चिन्तयामः तादृश अंशान् ततः आनेतुम् उन्नेतुम् अवकाशः वर्तते. It's very important to develop that attitude, otherwise we will never find any management thought in ancient Indian literature. Today people are talking at a very surface level. That's not what it is. One can go deep. एवं किञ्चित् पृष्ठभूमिकां कृत्वा अद्य अधिकतया एतस्मिन् विषये विस्तरेण चर्चां कर्तुम् अवकाशः अस्ति. तथापि अद्य समयस्य अनुगुणम् अहं विषयद्वयं स्वीकृत्य किञ्चित् विस्तरीकर्तुम् इच्छामि. प्रथमः विषयः अर्थशास्त्र. Arthashastra was 3rd century BC. So we are talking about 2400 years back. 2400 years back, what is written in Arthashastra provides some very profound ideas on some very strategic thinking in management. तस्मात् तस्मिन् विषये किञ्चित् वक्तुम् इच्छामि. अनन्तरम् उपनिषत् एकम् उपनिषत् स्वीकृत्य ततः किञ्चित् मैनेजमेंट विषये अपि किञ्चित् वक्तुम् इच्छामि. तावदेव अहं कर्तुं normally I talk more on Bhagavad Gita. Many of you would have heard my Bhagavad Gita. Today I decided to stay away from Bhagavad Gita. There are a lot of people talking Bhagavad Gita. Let me talk something else today. Okay. So let us look at Arthashastram यदि वयं पश्यामः तत्र मुख्यतया विषयत्रयं वर्तते. Those who have read Arthashastra will understand it. There are three very important things in Arthashastra. In fact, the entire Arthashastra is around this. One is Sapta Prakritayah, 7 Prakritis of a nation. This is a very important concept in Arthashastra. Then there is a concept called Circle of Kings. You know, enemy is enemy and all that. There are there are 12 circles of enemies, 12 circles of kings. Then 6 methods of foreign policy. These three are very, very important in Arthashastra. Central piece. Many things are actually weaving around it, actually. So, I'll show how deep management ideas are buried in this concept. So, let us take the 7 Prakritis first. Atra Arthashastra Sutra Yeshaya Vartate, Swami, Amatya, Janapada, Durga Kosha Danda Mitrani Prakritaya. This is the formula, that is the sutra there. Chapter 6 starts with that. So there are 7 Prakritis. Swami is the first Prakriti. King, Amatya, Janapada, Durga, Kosha, Danda, and we have Mitra. So the king, Adhikam na vaktum, Swami Lakshanaha et sarvam asti. I'm not getting into all of those. I'm saying king is the main person. Then you have the Amatya. Amatya has 2 different meanings in Arthashastra. One is the kingmaker. That is one meaning. Another meaning that you find is mantri, Gupta, mantrayanti iti, mantris, group of ministers providing counseling and administrative support. So this is one understanding of Amatya. Then you have the Janapada. Janapada has the different types of territories. You have the fort, you have mines and trade routes, roads. Sarvamatra Visheshtaya Dutiya Adhyayam, Tritiya Adhyayam api vartate. So there is a lot of descriptions of that are there. Then you have the Durga, which is the fortified capital, where the king, if hard pressed by a strong enemy, can be there for a longer time and withstand the siege, and that's the only way he will survive. Otherwise, he will be defeated. Kosha vayam sarve janimah adhikam bhaktum na ichchami. Treasury Kimati vayam janime, the ayama vaya ayave ityadi etesham. So it is the surplus which is stored in the king's treasury, the commodity warehouse, granary, because it's all agricultural commodity at that time. So therefore, all those are there. Danda is the protection of the state from external aggression. Itu ekah amshaha. Dvitiya amshaha, atra asmakam ye janaha santi, asmakam rashtre, tesham api yogakshemartam yad karaniyam tatapi tatra Partate. So maintenance of the law and order, justice, everything is part of Danda. That is how Arthashastra has looked at Danda. Then of course you have Mitra, which is the foreign relation. Who are your friends? Today so much is happening in Afghanistan. We are now wondering what is going to happen because we have an enemy by the side, and so all that in Arthashastra, if you read, you will understand all those that is happening today. So this is what he said. But it is not as simple as this. First of all, I have numbered it. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He says in Arthashastra, the importance is exactly in this order, which means Janapada is more important than fortified capital. Fortified capital is more important than treasury. Like that, you have to understand. That's why I have numbered it like this. If 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are good, 7 makes sense. Otherwise, 7 makes no sense. So these are all he says in Arthashastra. The question is, what is he trying to say? Does this have any relevance to management? In fact, today, I was recently writing a chapter on Arthashastra. I was reading extensively Arthashastra. That's why this has come actually. Now, I have now decided the way I will introduce a business organization today is the Sapta Prakriti of Arthashastra. Because what I could not imagine, I was able to find here. I'll show you that. Kinchit vayam agre gachama. So, etat public administration perspective vartate. Tatra rajanasya, tasya rashtrasya nirvahanam ityadikam. But you can exactly see the equivalent of that, and that is what modern management organization must look at themselves in an integrated picture. In a complete picture of an organization, Chanakya has given. So this is how it is. Now, what you find, a business enterprise starts only with the person who, the CEO, the owner of the company. Without, if he is lost, everything is lost. That's where it starts. That's the equivalent of the king. Then, like these Amatyas, in modern organizations, we should understand that there are very important key personnel, board of management, You have the board, you have the CXO, Chief Technology Officer, Chief Finance, CFO, CTO. They call it a CXO. The X is equal to, different things will come there. And consultants. Ete sarve atyavashyakaha bhavanti. Te sarve etat swaminasya hitartam. Enterprise tasya hitartam yet karaniyam tasvrushe tesham drishtihi sada bhavatu iti eta drishti avashyaka bhavati. So that is the first thing we have to understand. Now this Janapada, what is the Janapada? It's all about these markets and shareholders and employees, customers, channel partners, service providers. This is what Janapada. If you read Arthashastra Janapada, you will understand how. That's why it is very, very important. Without market and customers, what is the point in having your other things? Without right people advising you, how are you going to survive? So that is the order is very, very important. You start with the owner, then you need key personnel. Then if you have the key personnel, then you need markets and stakeholders. Otherwise, nothing is going to happen. If you have all of that, then you need to protect yourself. Strategic barriers are avashyaka. Durga iti vayam vadamaha. Tasya business management madhye tasya anyata asmabhigi jnatavayam vartate. Know-how. How do I manufacture my product or my service, or the know-how, the key knowledge, patent, unique process. Eta sarvam guptachaya atmabhihi rakshaniyam. No ched competitors will take it. Then we will lose all our business. So that is what he's saying by Durga, fortified capital. Capital does not mean you have to build a capital now. In a business context, what it means is secrecy of important things that you have, which critically is required for your survival. तथैव तत्र अस्माभिः ज्ञातव्यं वर्तते. Finances वयं जानीमः, अधिकं न वक्तुम् इच्छामि. Then what is Danda? Danda is controls and processes. In modern organization, today in the last 10 years only in India, we are doing a big way of audit and compliance and controls. Welfare, employee welfare is very, very important. Law and justice, fairness of treating employees and customers, accountability, corporate social responsibility, sarvam tatra bhavati. Without that, this company will not work. So this order is very important. Now you see, the owner is important. Owner must have very good people to advise. Otherwise, he is not going to make anything out of it. And with a good advice and a good owner, you will capture market and you will find partners with you. Kinchit vardhayati, asmakam business idopi vardhanam bhavati. Yadi business kinchit agre gacchati, tarhi competitor janaha tat sarvam taskaraha bhavayuhu. Parisare taskaraha bhagavaha agacchayuhu, tasmat strategic barriers avashyakam. So once you are ready with item 1, 2, 3, strategic barrier becomes important. You don't have to start with that. When you have nothing, what is there to protect? So strategic barriers. Yeta sarvam yadi vayam samyak kurmah asmakam koshasya vardhanam nischayena bhavatyeva. That is how the people today jump for money. No, you should not jump for money. You should do all these correctly. Money will come. It will all be flourishing. Then you have to have controls and processes. I know a lot of companies where they have faltered on step 5 and all the others got destroyed. They did not put good controls. They were growing and they completely spoiled themselves. You need controls and processes. Idi eta sarvam vayam dhridi kurmah. Idi etadrisheshu visheshu vayam samyak vyavaharamah. Tarhi collaborators will look at us with respect. Otherwise, they are not going to come near us. They will not come. Nobody will come near us unless we are strong. Tasmat joint venture, alliance and partners, technology transfer, yeta sarvam asmavi karaniyam ityukte, anya avasishtaha ye vishayaha santi, tesham naipunyam asmavihi sampadhaniyam bhavati. Vina naipunyam atra collaborators kopina gachanti. So this is a very, very interesting and a very integrated view of understanding business. It sarvam arthashastra granthe asti. यदि वयं एतया दृष्ट्या यदि वयं न पश्यामः तत्र प्राचीन ग्रन्थे निर्वहनशास्त्रे अस्ति वा इति वक्तुं स्पष्टता न भवेत्. We have to develop that kind of a lens with which we should be able to see this. So that is what Chanakya very clearly said. He said the 7th constituent critically depends on the health of the previous 6 constituents. Yadi pura etad owner, key personnel, markets and shareholders, strategic barriers, finance, control and process, etat sarvam yadi samyak bhavati, तर्हि उचित अन्य प्रौढाः अपि अस्माकं सदृशे कार्यं मिलित्वा कार्यं कुर्वन्तः तेषां वर्धनं भवति, अस्माकं वर्धनं भवति, परस्परं वयं वर्धयामः इति एतस्य अवकाशस्य मार्गः अग्रे स्फुरति इति स्पष्टतया तैः उक्तम्. So therefore we have to understand all these ideas from Arthashastra. Today I am convinced this is how I should teach management. How do I introduce an organization? I should use the Sapta Prakriti of Arthashastra. That is what I wanted to actually show here by way of an example. Then comes this 6 methods of territorial expansion. प्रसिद्धः अर्थशास्त्रे फॉरेन पॉलिसी विषये बहु उक्तमस्ति. एतस्य किञ्चित् संक्षेपेण अत्र मया लिखितमस्ति. संधि, विग्रह, आसन, यान, संशय, द्वैधी भाव इति 6 अंशाः तत्र प्रस्थिताः सन्ति. So Sandhi is actually making a treaty. Sometimes you should not fight. You have to have peace and then leave it. Then Samadana, Beda, Dandadi, Ityadi Vishaya api atra asti. Tu anyaha vishaya. Hostility. Sometimes you have to go aggressively. Then asana. Sometimes you have to wait for things to become favorable. Sometimes you should not. Very nicely he writes all these. Etat sarvam asti atra. Etasya kaha upayoga iti nirvahana shastre iti prashnaha bhavati. What do he do with this? Does that have any sense for management? Even many things that we teach in management actually are connected to this. When we say, how do you actually go and do market expansion? Territorial expansion, if I strike the word territorial and put market on the top of it, it will become a business management problem. How do I expand my market share? How do I expand my market? Atra, भिन्न विषयाः अत्र वन्तते. How can we increase the market share? If we read, we find very good ideas on it. How do we negotiate with potential collaborators? How do you deal with competitors? केचनाः अस्माकं सदृशे कार्यं कर्तुम् उद्युक्ताः, केचनाः अस्माकं सह कार्यं कर्तुं नेच्छन्ति. They are adversaries for us, competitors. How do you handle them? These 6 rules, if we read with all its attendant details, will give us ideas. When and when not to plan for a new market entry. This is a big question in management. कथं वा अस्माकं नूतन मार्केट प्रवेशः अस्माभिः करणीयः, कथं न करणीयम् इति तावत् स्पष्टता वर्तते वा इति मम संशयः. Or we have a certain way, but we can read this text. We will get ideas from here because that's exactly what he is talking about, yana and asana and all that. And what is the value of multiple joint ventures and alliances? It is Dvaivi Bhava, if you see, Dvaidhi Bhava, if you see, you do something with somebody, do something else with somebody else, you wait for, if you take all these 6 principles together, you get a very complex strategy of market expansion that is available in Arthashastra. Tasmat yadi vayam evam pashyamah tarhi nirvhanashastrasya nutana amshaha asmabhi kinchit tatah unnetum avakashah labhyate. So I thought I will just take an example of Arthashastra to give you. Let me go to Prashnopanishad. Let me just move on to Prashnopanishad. And when I was a student 35 years back, student of management, when we were taught these ideas of delegation, decentralization, the management ityukte binna binna janaah santi, tasmat leaders avashyakam, subordinates avashyakam, ke kidrisha karyaah kaihi karaniyam asti, katam karaniyam, eta sarvam parts of management. How do you do actually this delegate the job, decentralize the job? How do you do the planning? Who will do what? Unity of control. Eta sarvam asmabihi jnatam yada aham nirvagana chatraha asam panchatrimshat varshebhyah purvam. Eta sarvam Western ideas. They used to teach from Roman Catholic Church organization. Kim eva etadrisha vishayaha asmabihi jnataah. I will now take Prashnopanishad. As you know, Prashnopanishad is just 6 chapters. षड् शिष्याः आगत्य पिपलादं प्रत्येकं प्रश्नं पृच्छन्ति. अस्य उत्तररूपेण तस्य विस्तरेण अस्माभिः एतत् सर्वम् आत्मविद्यायाः तत्र विचारः तत्र भवति. यद्यपि आत्मविद्यायाः विचारः तत्र भवति, तथापि निर्वहणस्य उपयोगः अपि स्यात् इति मया किञ्चित्. In fact, from many Upanishads I can take. I have just taken Prashnopanishad today. We'll take chapter 3 of Prashnopanishad. तत्र प्राण अपान व्यान उदान समान वायुः एतादृश सम्बन्धिन प्रश्नः उत्पादितः अस्ति. तस्य उत्तरद्वारा एतस्य विवरणं भवत्येव. There are only 12 mantras. It is a very short chapter. 12 mantras. So I will just take the 12 mantras quickly. And we will, first 2 mantras I will leave because that is, they are presenting their credentials and so on. Tritiya mantra atra pashyantu, Atmanaha yesha prano jayate. Yataisha purushe chaye tasmin etadatatam manokritena ayati asmin sharire. So first it says Atmana eva prano jayate. The prana is born as Atman. And just like the chaya, just like the shadow goes wherever you go, this goes, and by the action of the mind enters into the body. It says manokritena ayati asmin sharire. That's the first mantra. Then it says yata samrad eva adhikritan niyumte. This is the idea of decentralization and delegation. Yata samrad eva adhikritan niyumte etan graman aditishta swaita eva evam esha prana itaran pranan pritak eva sannidhatte. Just like a king cannot administer everything by himself, he actually appoints some officers and you go and administer all these villages. In the same way, the prana which entered into the body now started giving orders. Now decentralization and delegation. Iti vayam vayamaha vadamaha management kshetre tat atra abhavat. Pritak eva sannidhatte. That is what this mantra says. Then payupaste apanam. The apana dwells in the organs of excretion and procreation. Chakshushotre mukanasikabyam pranaha swayam pratisthate madhye tu samanaha yesha hetad uttamannam samam nayati tasmad etah saptarchisho bhavanti. So it says payupaste apanam. The apana goes and stays in a particular place, which is the organ of excretion. Chakshushotre mukanasikabyam, in the mukhamandala, in the upper part, stays the prana. Okay. Madhye tu samanaha. In between the two, that portion is samana. And what is samana doing? Samana is actually cooking the food and sending the energy. Saptarchita, 7 flames. The energy is now distributed to the whole body. Evam sarvam atra panchama mantre eta sarvam asmabhi drishyate. Then talks about Vyana. Kriti hesha atma atra etat ekashatam nadinam tasam shatam ekaikasyah dvasaptatihi pratishakam nadi sahasrani bhavanti asuvyanas-charati. He says there are 100, and out of 100 pratyekam 101. In each one of the 101 there are 72,000. So multiply 100 into 101 into 72,000. That is the number that is being told. All these nervous system becomes the Vyana. So that is what this is saying. This mantra is saying that this Vyana. Then comes a very beautiful concept called Udana. Many people have not understood. This is a very beautiful concept. Ataika yordva udana punyena punya lokam nayati papena papam ubabhyameva manushya lokam. This fellow is the messenger who takes the soul out of the body. Marana kale यदि आत्मन जीवात्मा इति आत्मन इतः बहिर्गच्छति कुत्र गच्छति इति प्रश्नः कः नयति इति प्रश्नः. That is what is being told here. The Udana's job is to rescue the CEO from danger, because this body is useless. The Atman is the CEO. The body is useless. So you have to recover the CEO from the body. And what do you take? If you have done punya, you'll go to punya loka. If you have done papa, you'll go to papa loka. If he is mishranam abhavatu, manushya loka. So we are all mix of papa and punya. That's why we are all here actually. Anyway. Tejo hava udanas tasmad upashanta tejaha. Okay. Punar bhavam indriyehi manasi sampadhyamanehi. Because the udahana goes, the fire actually quenches. He is the act of withdrawing. He is the one which actually takes everything out. So rescuing from the danger is one important activity done by Udana. The Atman is in danger, take it out. Take it to safety. Then re-establish and restore. That is also Udana's job. Chittastenesha pranam ayati pranastejasa yuktaha saha atmana tata sankalpitam lokam nayati. So take it out and put it in the next place. Re-establish. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Nasato udyate bhavaha nabhavo udyate satah. So you cannot get something out of nothing. So this Atman cannot disappear just because somebody died and cannot reappear simply because somebody is born. So the Udana brings the continuity. It rescues something from danger and continues the continuity by putting it in the next place where it has to be put. So far the mantras. Now I'll come to the management. You may think these are all, Atma Vidya, Nischena Etasrum, Atma Vidya Eva, Tatra Anyata Asmavi, Ditiya Asmavi Charcham Nakaraniyam, Parantu, Eteshu Mantreshu, Nirvana Shastrasya, Mukhi Amshaha, Samichanataya Atra, Pradipaditaha Santi iti Aham Pradarshitum Ichan. Now, before that, this Udana Vayu, the way I have understood, has two levels. One is the strategic level. Strategic level is when the Atman is in danger, when at the time of death. That I call the strategic level. When the Atman is in danger, Udana Vayu will immediately, in Taittiriya Upanishad, in Prathama, Sikshavali, you will find a very nice description of how it goes. All those are there. That is a strategic level, but there is an operational level. What is the operational level? If there is a small micron thick hair in my tongue, what will happen? We will become uncomfortable. We will put our hand or we'll spit it, put our hand and take the hair out of it. Or if there is a foreign body which you have eaten, poisonous, either we will vomit, we will purge, or we will develop fever. So at an operational level, it protects, it safeguards the system from attacks and danger. At a strategic level, it saves the Yajamana itself. Vishay dvayam vartate. Yajamanasya kimapi danger bhavati tasya samrakshanam katam karaniyam. Yajamanasya danger nasti parantu yadi vyavastaha prachalanti vyavaharaha vayam kurvantaha smah tatra kimapi danger bhavati tatapi rakshaniyam. So that is the job of Udana Vayu. All these are management principles. Now I will quickly show what are the management principles contained in these mantras. So what is these mantras are saying? CEO takes charge. That's what the Tritiya mantra. And there is a unity of command. Unity of command is very important. Ekahaya pranaha. Tat vibhajya panchada abhavat. Pranaha tu ekahaya. Atmana prana rupena atra agataha. Tat vibhajya panchada abhavat. Delegation and decentralization. By that act of delegation and decentralization expressed in the fifth mantra, it is showing I am the leader. I am only asking you to do. Apana, you do this. Vyana, you do this. Udana, you do this. Like that. The fifth mantra and the sixth mantra, what is it saying? It is saying it is very important to allocate responsibilities. Role, independent domains. Apana Vayu should not be Mukhanasika Mandalayoho, Apana Vayu na bhavati. Samana Vayu, Vayupastayam na bhavati. There are clear operational regions, clearly delineated. Responsibilities are delineated, roles are delineated, independent domains of operation control. Yat samana vayu karoti tat apana vayu kadapi na kuryat. Yat apana vayu karoti tat dhyana vayu kadapi na kuryat. Tat na bhavatyeva. We have to understand from that a good organization requires independent domains of operation and control. Handling exceptions, emergency and security. Udana vayu. Ekasmin samsthayam Yesha atyavashikam bhavati, very, very critical bhavati. Katam vayam exceptions handle kurmah. Tasya emergency bhavati chet, tasya what kind of a system do we have to actually address that? Security, rakshana, parirakshana vishaye kim asmavi chintitam va, katam asmavi chintitam yadasarvam udana vayoho vishayaha bhavati. So what really happens is, this is what is happening. If you look at prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, in modern organization, this is what is happening. The prana is the top management. Tasmadeva Mukhanasika Mandalayoho prana tasya vyavaharaha bhavati iti aham manye. It is on the top. Okay? Top management. It is doing the administration. Vyana is the logistics and distribution. Yat samana vayuhu karoti energy. Tat saptarchishaha iti uktam asti. Tat sarvam sarvatra netavyam bhavati. So that logistics and distribution, supply chain, sarvam vyana. Samana is the core operation. That's why it said, in Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, prana, pana, samakritva, pachamyannam chaturvidam, aham vaishwanaro bhutva, praninam deham ashrita, samana vayu. It converts the energy for us. That is the powerhouse, that is the manufacturing unit for us. Madhya Pradesha atyavashaya bhavati asmakam. So that is core operation. Apana is waste disposal, maintenance, quality control. Yadi waste disposal na bhavati, asmakam swasthasya mahan hanihi vartate. It's a matter of time. If we stop passing urine, 72 hours we will die of blood urea levels going up. Yadi vayam excretory matter is not going, we will actually die in no time. So actually it is maintenance and quality control and waste disposal. Security, continuity planning. Big ideas in management. Katham security, samrakshan vishaye, continuity planning. Tase CEO gataha, tadanantaram samsthanam api gatam. Sarvatra yeshayava niyamaha bhavati. CEO is gone, the organization is also gone. No continuity planning, nothing. Eta sarvam atra asti iti ekam udaharanam aham maya atra कृतमासीत् बहवः सन्ति अहम् अत्र समापयामि किमर्थम् इत्युक्ते निर्वहनशास्त्रः विषये किम् अस्ति उपनिषद् मध्ये वा भगवद्गीतायां बहु अत्यधिकं वर्तते अहं न तस्मिन् विषये इदानीम् अद्य अहं तत् न स्वीकृतवान् भिन्नभिन्नविषयाः सन्ति तत्र सर्वत्र सर्वेषु ग्रन्थेषु निर्वहनशास्त्रसम्बन्धिनविषयाः सन्ति परन्तु मुख्य अंशः एष एव पुनरेकवारम् अहं वक्तुम् इच्छामि तत्र साक्षात् वयं ग्रन्थम् उत्पाद्य पश्यामः तत्र निर्वहनविषयाः न स्फुरति एव किमर्थम् इत्युक्ते अस्माकं पद्धतिः एषा एव नासीत् our culture was not like that we will say everything in one shot in one sentence the job is tadvidhi pranipateena pariprashnena it atyavashikam bhavati we have to constantly inquire so a person wants to know anything available about mathematics he should read the same text from a different lens. A person wants to know, is there anything in management? He should read this text with the lens of management. Yadi evam mayam pashyamah, tarhi prachina granteshu yavat avashyakam tavat tatra asmabhihi praptum shakyate adunika nirvahana shastre ye samasyaha santi tesham nivaranartham asmabhihi nutana vishayaha asmabhihi anveshaniyaha bhavati kutra anveshanam kurmah इति यदि वयं पश्यामः तर्हि प्राचीनग्रन्थेषु निश्चयेन अन्वेषणं कर्तुम् अवकाशः वर्तते we should be able to take that lens. I think each one of us must take our own lens. I am good in management, I will take the lens of management. You are good in mathematics, take the lens of mathematics. Somebody is good in physics, पश्यन्तु तत्र एवं न्यायवैशेषिकशास्त्रस्य विशेषतया तस्य वयम् अध्ययनं कुर्मः तत्र particle physics मध्ये वा अद्वैत वेदान्तस्य अपि वयं चर्चां कुर्मः so I think that is what we should do and if we take such an approach I think there is no dearth of knowledge but what is required is this level of serious thinking that vayam asmabhihi karaniyam kantalur shalayam tadartham yavat avashyakam tasya तावत् व्यवस्थां कुर्वन्तु इति मम प्रार्थना यदि एतया दृष्ट्या वयं प्राचीनग्रन्थानां अध्ययनं कुर्मः विशेष अन्वेषणं कुर्मः सूक्ष्मतया वयं तस्य परिशीलयामः तर्हि आधुनिक समस्याः आधुनिक समाजे ये समस्याः वर्तन्ते तेषां निवारणार्थं नूतन दृष्टि नूतन मार्गस्य निर्माणं कर्तुम् अवकाशः वयं निश्चयेन प्राप्नुमः इति उक्त्वा अस्मिन् सन्दर्भे एतत् अवकाशं भवद्भिः कल्पितं तदर्थं महान् अहं धन्योऽस्मि मुख्यतया मुरलीमाधव महोदयः मां प्राप्तितवन्तः I cannot say no to whatever he says it is difficult for me to say no तस्मात् विना चिन्तन अहं यत् भवान् आदिशति तत् वयं करोमि इति अङ्गीकृतवान् कियत् उपयोगम् आसीत् इति अहं न जानामि यत् मम मनसि आसीत् तत् सर्वम् अहम् अत्र किञ्चित् भवता सह किञ्चित् अहं परिवेशितवान् अस्मि धन्योऽस्मि हरिः ओम्
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful findings. And now it's the time for discussion. You have traveled through Vritta Shastra, Artha Shastra, and also through Prashnopanishads to find out the management samasyas, I think. And of course, we all should have a lens, as you said, sir. We all should bear a lens to study the ancient texts. And it's time for discussion. I request all participants to make this venture more worthful through your remarks and discussions. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Mahadevan. Your lecture was a thought-provoking one, but actually time has reached to go into our ancient wisdom of scriptures and to relate it to the modern sciences and epistemology. In Kandalur Shala is interested in that, and it is very worthful to hear such a lecture in totally agreeing with our concept and motto. So I am, as President of Kandalur Shala, I am very grateful to you and thank you. And what we observe from your lecture is that in the pre-scientific, the old scientific thoughts were expressed as the rules of general principles of universe, the Padartha Vijnanam, and the rules of language and rules of the last operating rules or last operating in our mind or in psychology. So these fundamental laws were formulated in thousands of years back through our rishis and Muni thinkers, the foremost thinkers of our ancient time. They formulated the fundamental laws. So every time we discover something or explore in a particular field of epistemology, then we see that the general laws formulated in the earlier times also operates always. So in philosophy, there will always be a distinction and relation between the general and the particular. So what we are doing is we are generalizing in our epistemology in different branches, okay. But we are actually going to the particularities in different sciences and fields. Then the general laws, scientific laws of the philosophers of the ancient times operate in modern management, in medicine and philosophy and military science and everything. We will see that in all epistemology, the fundamental laws are same and operating. So what is our duty? What is our duty to relate between the two? Because it shows from this lecture that in this methodology operated or used as a tool by the rishis is same. That same scientific methodology we are also operating. In the voluminous or in quantity, our knowledge might have increased. But in methodology, we have to learn. The modern problem is we are flooded with information and facts, but we forget the methodology. Actually, the methodology correlates the facts and it shows the meaning and truth and reveals truth, which is infinitely. So whenever we are thinking of sharpening our methodology, we should respect our ancient wisdom, ancient rishis, and we will go back to our shastras and then study not the misinterpreted facts. Your lecture shows that the meaning is different. Actually, we in our society, we understand these terminologies in a different way because the meaning has been changed through thousands of times because many rulers may be having some vested interest or religious institution. They may also have some vested interest. Political institution, they may also have vested interest. They might have misused or misinterpreted according to their practical needs the ancient wisdom, and so the correct meaning related to the background. So when we search out the correct meaning, we will see that the fundamental methodology is most scientific, logical, and very, very useful to enlighten us and to sharpen our wisdom and methodology to attain truth, technology, and progress of society. With these words, I conclude. Thank you very much. Very, very thought-provoking and interesting and very logical lecture. I am very much thankful you too, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Unnikishan, you can ask directly.
Namaste, everybody. In fact, it was a wonderful presentation, but very short. This is my comment. Because this topic is too big. Because every now and then, I'm a person who has attended several management courses, even at IIM Bangalore and different places. And practically the theory part and all those things are reasonably well known to me. But at the same time, most of these topics have been explained very vividly in our Puranas and Itihasas and all, which unfortunately is not known to many of the people. So I request the veterans who are here to take the initiative to ensure that this message is spread across, at least to start with from the school students. Because right now, anything and everything, we are connected with something in the West, which even blood circulation, William Harvey, that is what we are learning. But I read it somewhere that even in our own, say, Charaka, Sushruta and all, they were instrumental in inventing all these things much earlier, but unfortunately, it is not known to anybody. So why don't we think about, even Kandalur Shala can also think about a proposal to initiate some kind of processes where this message is spread across the students, because they are the right, right group, age-wise, intellectual-wise, and it is not polluted also. Because something in IIM and all, the people who are coming there will be in the age group of 22 to 25, already their mind is conditioned. But school students, I feel, if something is done, it can make a real difference. Right now, of course, occasionally we read something from people like, say, Devadatta Patnaik and all, who will be touching some stories about Mahabharata and all, but it is not at all sufficient. This is my opinion. Thank you very much.
So we have a guest from Malaysia. Mr. Nathan wants to ask some questions.
Yeah. Let him ask directly.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much for your intellectually stimulating lecture. And the two things I'd like to ask here. How would Vedic teaching help modern management in globalization? Secondly, you also with Indian Institute of Management, is there any syllabus on Vedic teaching in relation to management or MBA students or any senior management students being included in as part of the syllabus? These are two humble questions.
So very quickly, I think, the Vedic way of living, right, is the greatest addition that we can do to make this global a sustainable world. See, the word dharma comes from the Sanskrit root dhrui dharane, that which can behold, support. That is the meaning of this dharane, dhrui dharane, that root means anything which can sustain, support, behold. That is called dharma. In fact, the Veda, as Shankaracharya in his opening verse says, Duvidho vedokto dharmaha pravritti lakshano nivritti lakshanascha jagataha sthiti karanam. He says jagataha sthiti karanam is because of abhyudaya and nishayas. So if you ask me, the Vedic lore is a two sides of the coin. Abhyudaya and sakshat praninam abhyudaya nishayasa hetuho. That's what it says. It says we need materialism, we need peace of mind inside. Today's education is swinging the pendulum to one end, which is make money, and spend all the money in the hospital and become completely a destroyed person for yourself. Or you can die in a golden cart or a diamond-studded golden cart if you wish. because you have 8-digit salary or something. I think the Western current paradigm has swung the pendulum to Abhyudaya. There is no Nishayas. The greatest contribution of Vedic thinking is the balanced view. We need both to succeed in life. So that's where the Vedic teaching would be very relevant. Now, coming to your second point, I think there are some half-baked attempts here and there. And my biggest heartburn is that people are jumping into teaching without a little bit of Sukshma Drishti. Because the example I gave today is what I'm only trying to say, if you invest, you will get the right thing. Otherwise, wrong things are being taught today. I'm there. People are genuinely interested. I don't find blame with the people. I'm not at all blaming the people. I'm saying these are all Sukshma Vishaya. I think if we invest, that's why the lens is very important. If we do a good lens with which we look at, we can develop very good course outline. It is in the process. I will not put it in such a negative way, although I started like that. But to tell you, Nathan, it will take a little more time to get a good course outline. There are different ways people are trying. If we wait for a few years, I'm sure we will find a good, sensible course outline.
Yeah, Doctor, because I feel that there are a lot of universities and colleges in India churning out many graduates every year, especially in the subject matter of management, that it should also embed that Indian Vedic culture into the management studies. It shouldn't be always a westernized theology, westernized way of learning, If you're an MBA graduate, it's based on Western theories and practice. No, it should be embedded as an Indian.
No, it is. So it is changing. I am sure, it is a work in progress for good reasons. It will take a little more time. I am sure we will have it.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir Radhakan Thakur.
Yes, sir. Being Sanskrit scholar, we did not know. We did not know the value of
Sanskrit or English. Yes.
हम तो संस्कृत विद्वान अस्मि वयं संस्कृतज्ञः अपि प्रश्नोपनिषदः महत्त्वं महदेवन जी महोदयेन द्वारा ज्ञातवन्तः प्रश्नोपनिषदि किम् अस्ति इति एतेषां भाषणम् अद्य जातम् अस्माभिः अपि तत्र चालितं सीरीज रूपेण भवतु तेन किं भवति संस्कृतविषये या श्रद्धा अस्ति पुनः आगच्छति संस्कृत मध्ये किम् अस्ति इति विज्ञानम् अस्ति उपनिषद मध्ये एतेषां पुनः भवतु भाषणं सीरीज रूपेण अत्यन्तं सुन्दरम् आसीत्.
We have a guest from Guwahati, Mr. Goswami.
Let him speak.
He wants to actually raise a question in the chat box.
No, actually, sir. Yes, sir. I am highly blessed. I am highly obliged to all of you and especially the organizers. Actually, I have nothing to ask, but I express to all of you.
Okay, thank you.
And I am obliged to Professor Murali Madhavan ji that he has kindly sent me the link, and I am to be excused that I am a latecomer. It is a very nice program, and I express my sincere gratitude to all of you. I hope to be associated with you in future.
Thank you. That is what we want.
Video will be available forever.
The complete lecture will be given in YouTube afterwards. Those who are could not attend physically, they can hear the lecture and prepare their notes. There is no problem. Yeah.
Murali Madhavan sir is doing historical work.
No, with the help of great scholars like you, we could do something. We want to have a face-to-face dialogue between tradition and modernity. That is very important. The ancient and the modern wisdom, they should have a continuous dialogue. And only through that dialogue, we can generate more comfortable life in future. But whatever I want to say, there is already, see the word meaning in quotation, that which Professor Mahadevan started with the topic, that there is great importance. I think that topic, that single topic, we should have brood over. We have to have more deliberations on that in future. There is a great importance for that. Other things are already, he spoke and everything is well, and everything is good, and everything is very, needs very serious attention. But apart from all that, what he has started and the entire speech has complemented or directly and indirectly to mean what is the word meaning. The word meaning. That is very important.
Okay. See, someone, Ravi Iyer wants to ask some question. Ravi Iyer?
Yes, namaskar. I have one question. Yeah, I have one question for Professor Mahadev. Sir, there is this concept within management we refer as management by objectives or MBO. I've often wondered the serious limitation of how we understand it in terms of management parlance, because objectives of an organization, or let it be an individual, we all have certain objectives to manage. If I simplify this concept, what I've always struggled with is, be it in corporate or non-corporate. I currently work with a major multinational in New York. CEOs, CFOs, when we sit in board meetings and when they bring this concept, especially when there is a turmoil, the way I notice is that within meetings, when this concept gets brought up, there is always a struggle among people to filter that information down towards the bottom chain. At the corporate seminar conference rooms, it is talked very differently. But when they try to percolate, when they try to put this information down to the chain below, it starts losing its significance. So much so that the purpose behind why the organization is moving in a certain direction gets missed. My question is, in our ancient insights, has this been at any point covered? Is there any example where we can relate it to?
Yes, Ravi, I will give you a very quick example since you asked. Building a South Indian temple. You know, South Indian temple, building a South Indian temple am I visible?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, sir.
Visible.
Yeah,
visible.
Building a South Indian temple is very different because it is not with bricks. Building any structure with the brick is easy because they are standard shapes. And if you want to put a certain wall of a certain shape, you can count and then order the bricks from the market and get it. If you build a stone temple, what requires is that the Sthapati has a picture of the Garbhagriha. Sthapati has a picture of the Vimana and the Shikara. That picture must go up to the quarry worker. That is the challenge. And I'm not saying there's a challenge, that is the opportunity. The question now is, how come Sthapati had something in mind and there are certain stones which are being cut and then sent in a truck or a lorry today, finally the structure beautifully comes. So the message here is, the Sthapati up to the quarry worker is tied down by a spirited understanding of that picture of the temple. That Garbhagriha, that Murti, and that Prana Pratishtha that is going to happen, that goes right from the Sthapati up to the quarry worker. And that inspired understanding of the purpose for which we are doing. So the point I'm making is this management by objectives must percolate in that fashion. If it doesn't, you don't have to tell the same language, but they should be able to get inspired by the vision that the management had at the top. If we don't know how to communicate that, this will be a problem, and that is a charm of a South Indian temple. I think there is a common thread which weaves through the entire supply chain up to the quarry worker. That's the example I have seen in what you call it as Vastu Shastra. So I think we should borrow ideas from there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
So I am Ramamurthy.
Yes, you can ask the question.
Sir, Yes, yes. In Western management studies, the main purpose of the management is profit making and exploitation of the labor of the masses. That is, I think that is the main purpose of the origin of that branch of knowledge. So now when we talk of our heritage, how can it be useful for that? It's not our
sir,
management is not.
You have brought a very, very interesting point. Actually, this is what we all think. We think that, of course, partly you are right. The goal of an organization is to make money. That's what apparently they are thinking. I must share with you something. In my class, I go and ask my students, can you tell me one creation of nature or God, whatever you want to, word you want to use it. I tell them, please tell me one creation of God which will grow 25% quarter on quarter. This is the guidance they give for the software, stock markets in the New York Stock Exchange. 25% year on year growth. Can you tell me one creation of the God? One day after several years, one student put up his hand. Yes, sir, I know. So I was a little worried. I thought I got myself caught into a wrong question. This young boy said, sir, if something grows 25% quarter on quarter, that is called cancerous growth. He gave an answer like that. No, I will tell you, sir, that boy was very profound. I will tell you the goal of an organization is not to make money. The goal, that's what I teach. The goal of an organization is to survive. I will tell you 1/3 of Fortune 500 companies in 1970 disappeared in 1980. They were most unfortunate. What fortune we are talking about? Fortune 500 companies have collapsed. So today we are teaching our management students, goal of a company is not to make money. Goal of a company is to survive. Sir, if you want to survive, you cannot make 500 years of loss, but you can make a few years of loss. 4 years of profit, 2 years of loss, another 5 years of profit. So the making profit is now weaved into sustenance. So we teach our students today management, the goal of an organization is to sustain. Sir, we will have a Shringeri Mata which will, and Kanchi Mata and this Mata which will survive for 800 years, 1000 years. And that baton passing will happen so well because the basic culture is sustenance. Universities will survive because the basic culture is to survive, not to make money. Nowadays, universities have started making money, they will all die. That's why out of 500 engineering colleges in Tamil Nadu, 200 engineering colleges have been closed because no students. So that has changed. You have brought a very important point, but that has changed now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We take this opportunity, Kandharush Shala takes this opportunity to request Professor Mahadevan, because Mahadevan has mentioned this matter in his at the fag end of his talk, that Kandharush Shala should take up this issue. We are here to take up that, and we have already taken up. That is why you are invited to give this lecture on this topic. So you are the right person to, as I told you in my presidential observations, I have mentioned very clearly that you are a fusion of tradition and modernity. We have not dearth of scholars as far as management science is concerned, but they are trained in the Western style. They say that it is a modern style, but what is this modernity? What do you mean? What is the soul of modernity? What is the definition of the modernity? Then we'll be in difficult position to answer. So we want scholars, those who are veteran in the traditional classical texts and also modern texts. I'm not simply speaking about Sanskrit only. In other languages, also in classical works, you must have a knowledge of the past. And if you are sound in the knowledge of past, then only you can go further, proceed to the future. So this is very important. And Kandharush Shala is at it. And we are trying to have, as I told you, a face-to-face dialogue between Sanskrit Pandits and modern scholars, and scholars, those who are trained in the traditional way and modern way, and those who are gifted by the both devices, that is both tradition and modernity, if they are equipped properly, then the matter will be more convenient and more easy. And that type of face-to-face dialogue we want to create on our platform. So that we are planning, and we will be inviting Professor Mahadevan in future in several times to in different on different topics for deliberation. And I hope he will accept our invitation. He told one thing, that he cannot say no to Professor Murali Madhavan. So that makes me happy, because in future I can ask many times to come to our platform to share your scholarship in this field, especially in traditional knowledge systems. And with this, we can go for the next item of our agenda. Dr. Purnima, yes. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All Sanskrit students and researchers should have to develop the faculty of interpretation, I think, to study the ancient texts. And so it was very wonderful discussion. Thank you thank you all participants. And it's time for the presentation of citation to Dr. B. Mahadevan. I invite Dr. Sarita Maheshwaran, HOD, Sanskrit Sahitya of Government Sanskrit College, Tripura. Sarita teacher, please.
Yes, thank you, Purnima. Shruyate va? Sadam Shaknodi va?
Yeah, Shruyate.
Sarvebhyo Namaskaraha. Dr. B. Mahadevan is a professor of operations management at the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, where he has been teaching since 1992. He was the founding Vice Chancellor of Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth, a university for Sanskrit and Indic knowledge. In this assignment, he was responsible for creating new generation of academic programs in the higher education space that seamlessly blends ancient Indian knowledge traditions with contemporary knowledge systems. He was also the Dean Administration of IIMB and a member of the governing board of IIMB for 4 years. He is also in the board of IIM Kashipur, IIT Madras, and Kendriya Sanghatan. He is also in the International Advisory Board of California. Earlier, he was in the board of Indian Oil Corporation. He received his MTech and PhD from the Industrial Engineering and Management Division of IIT Madras. He holds a bachelor's degree in engineering, production engineering from the College of Engineering, Guindy, Madras. He has more than 28 years of wide-ranging experience in teaching, research, consulting, and academic administration at IIM Bangalore and other reputed institutions such as IIT Delhi and XLRI Jamshedpur. He was earlier chief editor of the IIMB Management Review, the premier Indian journal for management educators, consultants, and practitioners. He was also earlier the EADS SMI chair professor for sourcing and supply management at IIM Bangalore. He was a visiting scholar at the Amostek School of Business Administration, Dartmouth College, New Hampshire in 1999 to 2000. He was also a retainer consultant to Deloitte Consulting LLP USA in 2001 to 2002. He is on the board of trustees of some NGOs providing valuable community and social service. He is a member of the editorial board of the Production and Operations Management Journal and the International Journal of Business Excellence. He is also in the International Advisory Board of California Management Review. Professor Mahadevan has been recognized for his excellence in teaching, both at IIM Bangalore and outside. He has been consistently rated among the top 5 professors in IIM Bangalore's teaching and executive education programs. He was also conferred the ICFAI Best Teacher Award by the Association of Indian Management Schools in 2005. He was one among the 40 nominated globally for the Economic Intelligence Unit EIU Business Professor of the Year Award 2012. Besides being on the advisory boards of several business schools and management journals in India, he has published several of his research findings in leading international journals such as California Management Review, European Journal of Operational Research, Interfaces, Production and Operation Management Journal, International Journal of Production Research, International Journal of Technology Management, Asian Journal of Operations Management, International Journal of Yoga, Vigalpa, South Asian Journal of Management and IIMB Management Review. Apart from his best-selling book, Operation Management, Theory and Practice, Professor Mahadevan is also the author of the New Manufacturing Architecture. His research interests include supply chain management issues in e-markets and e-auction and design of services with customer co-creation of value. Professor Mahadevan has been playing a very significant role in the field of Sanskrit and Samskriti for the past 20 years. These include visioning and execution of Sanskrit promotion activities in India and abroad through a variety of roles in Samskrita Bharati, including being the president of Samskrita Bharati Trust, shaping the trajectory of Sanskrit educational space in the country by providing thought leadership initiatives involving all Sanskrit university vice chancellors, helping the government in policy decision making through membership in Central Sanskrit Board and invited membership in Rashtriya Sanskrit Parishad, disseminating Sanskrit and Samskriti to the global audience through public lectures, books, writings, YouTube channels, and seminars, introducing Sanskrit and Samskriti to mainstream audiences such as top management, corporate, and management graduates at IIMB through seminars, elective courses, and a series of lectures, widely disseminating Sanskrit and Indic wisdom through a number of public speaking assignments in various parts of the country.
This citation was presented to Dr. Mahadevan on 28th August 2021, signed by Dr. P.C. Murali Madhavan, the Director-in-Chief and the Special Officer, Kandalushala.
Okay, sir. Okay. I didn't read it. Sorry.
So this will be emailed to you today itself.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mahadevan, for your scholarly presentation and a very attractive presentation. Some scholars, they present not very much attractively. Their presentation will be very poor, but their content will be very scholarly. But you are, as I told you, it is a very attractive fusion of both content and the expression. Both are very attractive, and it was very nice. And in future also, our president of Kandalu Sabha is Narayanan Pochi sir, who spoke first, who intervened in the discussion, opened the discussion for, so to say. So we are here, and we will be inviting you in future also for several lectures to share your experience, vast experience in ancient literature and modern management science. With this, I beg to remain. Thank you.
Now, may I invite Dr. K.K. Hariharan, Administrative Director, Kandalushala, for vote of thanks. Over to Dr. K.K. Harihara.
Sarvebhyo Namaha. Salutation to all. Today, we had a very thought-provoking talk on management theories, especially on operational management theories, which in connection with the ancient poems and ancient texts. We have vague ideas about our management theories in texts like Panchatantra, Mudra Rakshasa, and poems, Mahakavyas, etc. We know that there are very management theories, very valuable theories, but we are not clear about that. I think that our today's our guest, chief guest, Dr. B. Mahadevan, he know what the ideas in such texts are, and I think that he is like Chanakya in our Mudra Rakshasa drama. He know what management and how management can be practiced in operational management, how it can be made use. It can be made use. And his discussion about the Sandhi, Vigraha, Asana, Yana, Samsaya, such topics, and also his connection about the Pranabana, Vyanodana, Samana, that the bodily air circulation with the management theory. It was very interesting, and I think that in our modern period, especially the very modern period, when China and Pakistan is trying to make relationship with other groups and trying to destroy us, I think that experts like B. Mahadevan is necessary for our nation now for the best management to tackle such problems. And I express on behalf of Kandalur Shala, I express our heartfelt gratitude to him for attending, for presenting the valuable talk here. Then we know that our today's president of the function was Professor P.C. Murali Madhavan, and he is the leader of us who make all these discussions and all these programs of the Kandalur Shala. And his management is very much appreciated. It can be taken as an example of good management, his management for the Kandalur Shala. And I express on behalf of Kandalur Shala gratitude to him also. Today, after the talk, we know that very dignitaries participated in the discussion, and actually they are the they support not only Kandalur Shala, but they support the values of our nation, and so they attended this meeting, and I express gratitude to them also. Then today's meeting was it was conducted, and the madam who conducted this very beautifully, Dr. G. Purnima, head of the Department of Sanskrit and in the Sri Shankara University, Ettumanur Regional Center. And also the citation was presented here by Dr. Sarita Maheshwaran. Madam is head of the Department of Sanskrit in the Government Sanskrit College, Punitara. And the Kandalur Shala members, President Narayanan Putti, Sri Narayanan Putti, Vice President Sri Madhavan Nambudiri, and the Treasurer Pradeep Jodi. He is the master to conduct the digital platform for this program. And Ramamurthy, who is the academic president of the Shala, and who presented the welcome call, and also all dignitaries who presented in the platform, in this digital platform. I express our sincere gratitude to all of them. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And it is a time for Shanti Patha. Om Purnamata Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Dhanyavada.
Thank you, Dr. Purnima, for your wonderful management of the program. And also thanks to Dr. Jyoti, who was working behind for the virtual platform and all digital advice in the matter. And from my part, as the humble servant of Kandrul Shala, I extend my personal thanks to Dr. Mahadevan for his excellent presentation. Thank you. So now we are concluding the session with the permission of all. Thank you.